Hello everybody and welcome back for some weekly VR news. As always, I am Mateo311 and this is your channel for everything VR related. This week is absolutely packed with new releases, including the Souls-like Grimlord, the spiritual successor to Superhot, Action Hero, a series of new sports titles from Resolution Games, and much more. Now there are of course links and timestamps if you want to skip ahead, but before we jump in, this video is brought to you by all of my generous sponsors, including hardware and peripheral manufacturers like B Haptics, X Arcade, Roto VR, and of course Kiwi Design. Currently everyone is running some major sales, so if you're looking for anything from a headset to an accessory, now is the time to buy, and I'll always have a link down in the description to the best sales that I can currently find. So don't forget to use that if you're looking for some discounts and you want to help support this channel. Okay, so let's start things off like normal with the check-in, and that's what exactly have I been up to in the VR world? Well, I just got home from a week in Amsterdam, amazing trip, but the reason I went out there was for the AI XR Awards, where I took home this baby, right there. That's the XR Content Creator of the Year 2024. Look at this. Actually, I'm pretty proud of this. I really don't get proud very often. I don't feel like I accomplished too much with this channel. I know you guys are out there supporting me. Means the world to me, but thank you to everyone in the VR industry, because without basically everyone else, this wouldn't be possible. So thank you. Don't want to spend a lot of time on that. I've already done an acceptance speech, which maybe you've seen. Anyway, moving on. I did not get to cover Behemoth yet, as I was away, and it came out really late. And as of right now, I'm waiting for their #1 patch. I know they had a day 0 patch, but there's another patch coming out next week. But this is where I want to do something new for the channel. I want to give you guys control. What do you want me to cover next? Action Hero's coming out this week. I played it at Gamescom. I'm pumped for that. So it's Action Hero, or should I cover Behemoth pre-patch or post-patch? And then should I do a first impressions of a bunch of games? Because there's a ton of games dropping this week. So drop it in the comments right now. First impressions, Behemoth, pre-patch, or Action Hero. And I'll make that my priority. But for now, let's get into that big list of games. First up is Home Sports. This is like the VR version of Wii Sports, where you could jump in for some competitive or casual action. The games included are pickleball, hockey, bowling, mini golf, and badminton. Now you can play both locally or online with up to 3 of your friends. And Resolution Games excels at just making fun titles, so I do expect this will be yet another one. Now next up, we have the most bizarre workout game I've ever seen, and that's Exercise Your Demons. Here you're entering the Infernal Gym and getting trained by a bunch of monsters. Now activity-wise, it does look like your typical VR workout game, where you'll mostly have to punch and dodge objects. Now personally, it looks like this game has an uphill battle. It's way too kidsy for the whole workout scene, and it's a workout game, which kids don't gravitate to. So who is this really for? But I will say I've played just about every type of workout game, and the ones that are the most fun and also help me break a sweat are the ones I play the most. Like I can't have straight workout where it's like, oh, am I gonna make it through this today? I really gotta push myself. Or I can't have something that is more fun and isn't athletic. So maybe this can strike the right balance. I'll give it a try and let you guys know. But moving away from workout games, we have the spiritual successor to Superhot, Action Hero. Now I previously played the first act of this game at Gamescom and absolutely loved it. Mechanically, the game is 100% Superhot. Enemies only move when you move, and firefights end up feeling a bit like a puzzle. They do, however, have a whole new twist to the game here. Instead of fighting your way through a simulation-style world, you're now the star of your very own Action Hero movie. So you'll battle your way through in classic movie style. The first chapter was very much Indiana Jones themed, where you have to avoid falling boulders, an array of different temple style traps, and a bunch of World War II style soldiers hunting you down. Now honestly, this might not sound like much, but that added extra flair or style on top of the Superhot mechanics just works amazingly well. Like when you die, you could hear the director in the background like yelling cut, retake, so it kind of stays with that whole storyline. And I'm just really curious to see what the other style movies are. Are we going to jump into like Terminator or Aliens? You know, there's plenty of great 80s style movies to pull from, or maybe something a little bit more recent. Now VR is also getting an official VR only version of Clone Drone. This time, instead of Clone Drone in the Danger Zone, we're going to the Hyperdome. The first flat screen title was absolutely beloved and received some excellent reviews. Now graphically, the VR version doesn't look like much, but it sort of reminds me of a sci-fi version of Paint the Town Red. The combat allows for decapitations and dismemberment, and the overall physics do look good. The only aspect I'm not really looking forward to is the fact that this is yet another roguelike. So I'm 50-50 on this one right now. It does look like it could be a fun time, and I'll let you know what I think after I check it out. I've actually heard of a bunch of other games that are supposed to surprise drop this week, but since they haven't been announced yet, I can't mention them, and we'll just have to wait and see what happens. Until then though, let's jump into this week's new game updates. There's currently 2 amazing VR titles that are in early access that should be getting their full release in the very near future. The first is the VR RPG Souls-like Grimlord. This title's been available in early access on Steam VR for about 18 months, and almost a full year for the Meta Quest. During that time, it's only got better and better, and it's the definitive VR, unforgiving Souls-like experience with some pretty badass physics-based combat. So make sure you're looking for a challenge when you jump into this one, and don't expect to be hacking through hordes of enemies. Like any other Souls-like, this game will humble you. Now, if you prefer sci-fi over fantasy, the mech shooter Iron Rebellion is another game that's about to get its full release. After years in development, the multiplayer battle is about to begin. There's cross-play support for other platforms. Your mechs are fully customizable with different classes and loadouts, creating a large variety in strategy and playstyle across 12 different maps and 4 different game modes. And there's also some AI bots if you don't want to play against real people. Now, I'm definitely planning to jump into this one, and let me know down in the comments if you want to join me. If so, I'll try and set something up. Now, in other update news, we found out that the absolutely fantastic and equally terrifying Madison VR is coming to the Quest. This jump scare filled psychological horror previously released for PlayStation VR 2 and PCVR, but in the near future, Questers can also join in on the action. By popular demand, I even live streamed some of this for you guys, and it was absolutely terrifying. So for the horror fans out there, this one will be an absolute must play. And finally, the amazing puzzle title, The Infinite Inside, is getting a brand new chapter. The Lost Depths will take you to a whole new world, where the experience gets even more magical and takes you to the bottom of the ocean. If you never tried The Infinite Inside, I highly recommend it. It's a very chill puzzle experience that's playable in both VR and mixed reality modes, and it does an excellent job of immersing you in a fantasy world. But let's move on to today's only non-gaming story. It appears that Meta has struck a deal with James Cameron and a new studio called Lightstone Vision to bring some immersive 3D experiences to VR. Now, I'm definitely excited about this. I always talk about how VR can use some type of anime series or something like that, and I love some of the experiences that the studio Baobab gave us, but they're always just shorts. Like, I want something deeper, more immersive, longer, or just like an ongoing series. Now, a new studio dedicated to stuff like this sounds fantastic. And we know James Cameron always loves to play with new technology. He's always been a fan of 3D. And we have things out there like, I don't know, a little title you may have heard of like Avatar. You know, small, cheap experiences like that. He's going to bring those to VR. Honestly, I think this can be fantastic. That is an aspect that no one's really been able to fully break into when it comes to VR. Like, there are cool experiences like that. There are cool ways to watch sporting events, but it's never been my number one go-to. It's either just like clunky or there's some related issues. Plus, you have the whole comfort issue of wearing a headset compared to watching a TV. So if you're going to make us wear the headset, you got to give us something special. And I really hope they deliver on this one. And that right there was today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Like I said, it was about the games. This was a week of games. And there's a bunch that I didn't talk about because they don't have release dates or announcements just yet. So I'm also expecting a few surprise drops here and there. No big titles though, so don't get too excited. Additionally, like I said earlier in the video, if you guys want me to ever cover anything, just drop it in the comments. Enough people talk about it, I'll put it on my priority list. How's that sound? You guys are involved in the channel. Now, if you enjoyed this, thumbs up. If you're new here, please consider subscribing. Like 90% of the people who watch this channel are not subscribed. What are you doing? Just click, done, boom. I'll be happy, and you won't have to hear me say this anymore, even though I will. But as always, I'll see you guys on next time. No more rambling.